Hey, welcome to Real Person Reviews. I'm Sam. I'm a real person. And today I want to talk to you about Mighty Gunvolt on PC. I don't know if it's elsewhere for just Mighty Gunvolt. There's like another one, at least one more. But this is the one that's just called Mighty Gunvolt. And I played it on Steam. For stuff up front here, played it on Steam, and it's been a while since I played it. I played it a while ago, didn't review it right away, sat on that too long, so sorry if some of the information sucks, or if I forgot anything real important or something, but that's the way it goes. I remember well enough, I hope, and perhaps the written review you can check out before or after, or instead of this one, will say it a little bit better than I can hear anyways, but we will see. Also, I believe this is kind of like a crossover between a few different games, but I'm not really familiar with the others. I believe I looked up, it was something like Galgun and Azure Gunvolt, I think that's what it's called, for the Gunvolt. And I guess Gun is part of Galgun. We'll go into that. And then Mighty Number 9 is the only one I was really familiar with, which is where the Mighty comes in. So this game, I guess that's the background I have for it. Sorry. So Mighty Gunvolt is essentially like a Mega Man game. It's a 2D platformer shooter. It's in a style that is basically like an 8-bit kind of style. I don't know if it's actually 8-bit, but that's the style. You can pick from one of three characters: Beck, Gunvolt, and forgot the other one's name. Hopefully the written review is going to be better than this shit. I'm sorry, it's escaping me right now, but you have the three characters. Basically, you go through all these different stages, and you run around and you shoot guys. You can pick up items and you get score. The faster you're killing enemies and such, you can get a score multiplier and get more points. I think you might get 1-ups for a certain amount of score, but not sure. I'm not even entirely sure score means anything, but I don't know. As far as I could tell, it was just kind of there. Basically, you have to kind of go in a linear fashion, unlike Mega Man. But the gameplay is still kind of run around and shoot stuff. A lot of it's like robotic kind of looking dudes and whatnot, and so they explode when you shoot them. And you just run, jump, and shoot for the most part in general gameplay terms. Sometimes enemies will drop health as well, which you might need if you get hurt, of course. And then after you go through these stages, killing enemies, maybe finding some secrets, which can net you some 1-ups. You get to the end of the stage, there's a boss to fight. I would love to explain the premise of this game. I don't know what the fuck is that. It says in the beginning, and I still don't understand what it was, because it's just some weird, like, nonsense, like it doesn't matter. They knew it was just whatever, an excuse to put you into these levels to shoot things. So I'm not gonna bother to care. I also, fun thing, at the end especially, there are some typos and like weird grammatical things. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. If it's supposed to be funny, like, oh, it's like not correct grammar there or something. It's like, I don't know if that's supposed to be a joke or if that's like they actually did that accidentally and it's just there. Just pointing that out. But yeah, you go through the stage and you kill all the dudes and try to survive, and there's some checkpoints in there in case you die, and then once you get to the end, you find a boss, and you can just keep trying to fight the boss. And I believe if you get a game over, you just have to do the level over again. You fight these different bosses, and usually the bosses are pretty tough. You have to figure out their patterns and, hurt them and kill them, and like, go on to the next stage, and you just do that throughout that enough stages, and then you get to the end. There's also, I believe, I don't remember if you get another ending for it or not. Another, like, actually end screen. If it's not like a different ending, it'd just be the same end screen again if it was, but I don't remember if it even does or not. There's like this place you can go to in Warp, and it's just another set of levels you can go to as well. So there's basically 2 lines of levels to go through. Fairly short, not too many levels, and the replay will come in playing as different characters. So I played as Beck first, who plays the most like Mega Man. You shoot stuff with your gun, and if you charge up your shot, you actually do this charge up your attack button. You can actually by holding it, you charge it up and you let go, and then you dash forward. You can dash through enemies and hurt them. And it's just more powerful. It's a more powerful attack. It can also be used to extend your airtime a bit, and you can get a little further, ahead if you jump and then do that dash in midair. Like there's that platforming element to it. I think that was really his only thing. And if you play as Gunvolt, you can. I hope that one's called Gunvolt. I thought it was. You basically your ability is to hold down the button and you can shoot, and basically it shoots this continuous stream of shots, this like beam that snakes out of you that you're shooting. You can kind of control the arc of it a little bit as it's shooting in front of you to kind of kill all these different enemies, at different angles. Angles that might be more difficult than trying to shoot them directly straight forward. And usually can do more damage because you can do consistent damage and keep hitting them with that. So that's kind of that thing. And then there's, and I think you have I want to say you have a double jump, but I don't remember. I'll check on that. This is a great review. And then, because I just knew Beck didn't have one, but I knew that the third character does, I believe has oh yeah, no, you have a double jump. Yeah, you do. Because then the third character does not have a double jump, but instead has like a float ability where like you kind of, almost like Princess Peach in Super Mario Bros. 2 or something, where like you jump and hold the button and like you can just like float in the air. Actually, it might be if you hit jump again, you do the float is what it is, instead of just holding the button. But you jump and hit it again, and then you're floating like in the air, and you can do that for a short amount of time. You might not even have to hold it. You might just have to tap it again, and then you can tap it a third time to cancel it. I think that's how it goes, actually. So it has been a little while. It's one of those things where you have to think about it when you start doing it, and then it becomes second nature, and then you haven't played the game in months, and then you think you remember it. You can shoot, have 4 projectiles on the screen at once, whereas the other 2 can only have, I believe, 3 on the screen at any given time. So you can have more projectiles on the screen, but your projectiles are a lot weaker. You have a charged shot, but your charged shot isn't that strong either, though the special property of your charged shot is that it can turn your enemies into companions, and then they'll just float behind you like familiars and shoot at enemies every now and then. Though, I'm not sure if they have their own health or not. They seem to all have the same amount of health as far as I can tell, even though harder enemies are, more difficult enemies that take more shots. Take more of those shots to try and capture them, and sometimes you'll accidentally kill them in the process. But they all seem to die fairly quickly, so I'm not entirely sure what the difference is, since they all seem to shoot the same projectile once you get them anyways. It's just like a visual thing, I guess. And basically, yeah, the idea is like some of these characters can get to places and stages the others can't. Some of them are better for certain bosses. But as far as I can tell, you can only play as one at a time anyways. They all have the same levels, and they all have the same levels, the same bosses. You don't get any new abilities or anything. It's all the same stuff, just with a different character. And let's see for positives. Let's try to be positive about this. I do think it looks nice. It reminds me more of like a Game Boy Color version of like a Mega Man game than it does like an NES one. With the way with just the way it looks. It's not like, it's like 8-bit, but it's not like highly detailed 8-bit. It's like pretty like low detail, so it feels a lot more like maybe it was like something on the Game Boy Color, because it has color, and it's like they couldn't put too much in there. I don't know, or like one of those Game Boy games that also had color if you put it into Game Boy Color, like something like that almost. And like it plays well. I think it plays just fine, control-wise. I do think that having the different kinds of characters is interesting. And the short length actually works for that, too, because since you don't get new powers or anything, or anything crazy like that, it's like, well, playing through the relatively short game 3 times is not really that crazy to do. when you're playing as different characters, which kind of make the way you play different each time. Maybe having more variety in the characters or more abilities or something to do, or just giving different stages to different characters would have been nice, but it's I think it works pretty well for what it is, and I don't know if this was just like a quick kind of slapdash, like let's just throw this together so we can have this extra promotional thing out, because it seems like a fun idea. I don't know the level of, care that went into it, but it still is a decent little game for what it is. And I don't know, I mean, like, music's fine. I like some of the music. Some of the stages look really cool. A few of those. And some of those boss fights are actually pretty tough and pretty fun. Those are probably the highlight of the game. Or you're kind of just waiting to, kind of go through these mindless levels to get to the boss. And, like, the boss is really tough to beat. It's, like, especially depending on the character you're using, like, they can be pretty rough. So, like, it does feel pretty good to beat some of these sons of bitches. Downsides, though, it is a bit short. It's a little repetitive. The stages aren't super fun to go through. They're fine, but like none of the stages were awesome to really play. It just kind of felt like, yeah, go through, shoot stuff, and don't get hit. You can pick up things, but it really only health seems to matter. I don't think points do a lot for you. Maybe you'll get a 1-up, maybe. That's it. That's the only thing that's worth even getting, and even then it's like, well, if I get a game over or something, I can just go through that stage again because it wasn't that hard of a stage. You're more likely to get a game over on the boss than an actual, the stage itself, so I don't know. It does feel like it's just lacking in like just more variety. It needs abilities. It needs more stages, or just like different stages for the different characters, and have each campaign be a little bit shorter too. Maybe give you the ability to switch between the different characters would have been a good idea, and have it all maybe a few more stages, or just even the same amount of stages, and just being able to switch between them whenever would have been cool. I don't understand the point of the alternate set of stages other than to have more stages to play, as it doesn't seem to make a difference whether you do the main ones or the warp to the other set of stages. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this game had potential to be something really cool, and it just ended up sort of in this realm of like, well, it's okay. The characters aren't super different. The stages are all the same stages. It's all pretty forgettable, and like it's one of those. It feels like a very consumable game. It's like you can play it. You're not going to be upset about it. You're not going to be like, this game fucking sucks. You're just going to be kind of like, well, it's okay. It's fine. I had fun with it. And I'm probably never going to pick it up again. It just kind of feels like one of those. I mean, that's Mighty Gunvolt. I'm sorry I don't have more to say about it or more details, but it's such a simple game, and it's short, and there's not a lot to it. There's probably more to explaining how the game, like, basically explaining those mechanics and all that stuff. That's more explanation than you need. It's pretty secondhand to just play it and do that, and you don't even need to use some of their special stuff even to get through it most of the time. I wish the stages were more difficult. Some of the bosses could be more fair. I wish there were more stages. You could switch between the characters, or the characters at different stages, or their power-ups, or something. The game just needs something. And unfortunately, overall, like I say, it's fine. If you want to spend like $5 or less on it, it's fine. But it's not something I would say to go out and get. You might as well go out and try to get like a Mega Man game, or some kind of better of a Mega Man rip-off kind of game. And it's if you like Game Boy Color and you like Mega Man, you'll probably be fine with it. But you'll still be a little underwhelmed, and you probably won't really want to play it, more than the 3 different times for the different characters. That's about it. What did you guys think of Mighty Gunvolt? And there's that, I forgot what it was called. But there's the new Mighty Gunvolt. It looks a little more involved. What do you think of that one? I'd like to know opinions on that other Mighty Gunvolt game. Seemed cool. Also on that the other games that cross over with it. What do you think of those? That would be cool. Leave that stuff in the comments if you would. I would enjoy that. And what are some really good Mega Man rip-offs you've played? Mega Man clones, Mega Man whatever, things that are inspired by Mega Man, that type of deal. Leave some of those in the comments too. I've been, I just went on this crazy Mega Man like kick, and I was like, I'm gonna get this, and this was kind of at the, it's great for if you're still just coasting on those Mega Man fumes and you're like, oh yeah, play this, but man, like at this point right now, like I'm not on that Mega Man kick anymore, and right now I'm like, I don't think I would want to pick this game up and play it right now. So it's one of those where like it doesn't stand up on its own, but as part of the marathoning Mega Man games, you'll be like, this is close enough when you run out of them, and like it's one of those. So I don't know. What do you guys think of it? Comments, sub on sub, like, dislike, do a share, and unshare. I don't know how you would do that. If you had posted it before, you could take it off and be like, you know what? Don't go to see this guy's video. Post it and say, don't watch this guy's video. Don't click on it. It's so bad I have to post it so you don't click on it. I don't know if that would work. You probably would just want to not post it, because then there wouldn't be anything to click on and just not mention it. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not here to tell you what to do. That was Mighty Gunvolt.